At a funeral, a woman lies in her coffin with one hand hanging out, holding a piece of chalk. On the floor, she managed to write just one letter, A. In front of her stand three pregnant women, Amy, Anna, and Ava. One of them must be behind what happened. But who? Look closely. Anna's bouquet looks a little strange. One of her flowers isn't a flower at all. It's the handle of a knife she tried to hide. After school, Emma has a strange feeling that someone's following her. She walks faster until she reaches her locker. Inside, there's a note written in red letters. It says, "Readers unite now." Can you figure out what it means? Divide the word into 3 rows, then read the first column vertically. It spells run! During a bungee jumping adventure, Lily is about to put on her safety gear when she suddenly falls. Oh no! A camera captures the moment and 3 people are nearby: her sister, her best friend, and the instructor. One of them pushed her. Who do you think it was? Let's see, the sister has both arms outstretched, but she's actually trying to grab Lily. The instructor is preparing the gear for a safe jump, but her best friend is trying way too hard to act innocent. He's the one who pushed Lily. David walks into an old haunted house. He steps into a dusty classroom, looks around, and laughs. Ha! There's nothing scary about this place. But suddenly, the lights flicker and the door slams shut behind him. He's trapped. On the blackboard, glowing numbers start to appear. He realizes he has to solve this puzzle to escape. Can you figure it out? Here's the trick. Each line adds the current sum to the previous result, so the answer is 36. After saying the answer out loud, David watches the numbers vanish from the board. But suddenly, a piece of chalk starts moving on its own, writing the word C over and over again. Now David's confused. He doesn't understand what's going on. Do you notice anything strange? Look closely. In the middle of all those C words, there's one that says C. Oh! This school's ghost must be telling him to look at something. Quickly, David turns around and spots 2 dusty mirrors, both showing his reflection. But something feels off. One of them isn't real. So which one shows the true reflection? Remember, the chalk was moving by itself. David never touched it, so the real reflection is the one that shows his empty hands. A jewelry store is robbed and the security camera catches the moment. But we can only see the thief's hand reaching for the jewels. The next day, the police bring in 3 suspects and ask them to show their hands. Can you tell who the thief is? It's suspect number 3. Look closely. There's a band-aid right where the thief's tattoo was during the robbery. He's just trying to cover it up. 2 pairs of twins walk into an eyewear store. Ruby and Rose pick these glasses. Oliver chooses his pair next. Now it's William's turn. Take a close look at the glasses. Which ones will he pick? There's a pattern, and it's not about matching with their twins. They're choosing the color of their glasses based on the first letter of their names. Ruby and Rose went for red. Oliver picked orange, so William will choose the white ones. A couple is on a road trip when suddenly they hear a loud noise. Lisa hits the brakes hard. She gets out of the car and runs to check what happened. Turns out the tire's flat. She shouts to her husband, "Brian, come here!" But he says he can't help. Why not? Lisa ran out of the car so fast she didn't realize she locked Brian in. He simply can't open the door. A university opened new teaching positions, but with one special rule. The new professors had to know how to write with their left hand. 3 candidates took the test and wrote a word on the board. The judges saw the middle one writing with his right hand and immediately disqualified him. But he swears he followed the rule. How is that possible? Well, the rule said teachers must know how to write with their left hand, but it never said they couldn't also use the right one. The candidate is ambidextrous, so he still qualifies for the job. Ford was waiting to see the doctor, but he was getting impatient. He started complaining nonstop to the young man sitting next to him. After a few minutes, he realized the guy hadn't said a single word. Ford got annoyed until the young man said, "Sorry, I couldn't hear you." Was he telling the truth? Yes, he was. We all saw the noise-canceling earbud in his right ear, but what Ford didn't know was that the young man was deaf in his left one. Uh-oh. A man is flying in a helicopter when the pilot suddenly passes out. There are 3 things he can do: try to fly it himself, use the emergency radio, or jump with an improvised parachute. What should he do? Don't panic. Trying to fly it alone is way too risky, and jumping with an improvised parachute is even worse. But the radio connects him to rescuers who can guide him safely. The best move is to call for help. A woman is in her office when a flower pot crashes down from the floor above. Someone tried to harm her. She looks up and sees 3 coworkers nearby: Clara, Mia, and Daniela. Who did it? Let's see. Clara and Mia just look shocked, but Daniela is turning away, hiding one of her hands behind her back. And it's covered in dirt. She's the one who pushed the pot. It's late at night when Sarah gets a call from her boss asking her to go to the office right away. She needs a last-minute babysitter for her daughter, so she calls her cousin. The young girl doesn't answer the phone, but texts back, "I can't, I'm not feeling well," and sends a picture to prove it. She's wearing cozy pajamas and looks pale, but Sarah immediately knows she's lying. How? Look closely. The photo's background shows daylight streaming through the window, but Sarah called her at night. The picture must have been taken on another day. A woman is climbing Mount Everest when a freezing wind hits her. She finds 3 items nearby: a blanket, a bottle, and a coat. Only one can save her life. Which should she choose? Think fast. The blanket is too thin, and the bottle has cold water in it, so it won't stop the chill. But the coat can protect her from the freezing wind and hypothermia. That's the right choice. Samuel has a secret date with his lover at a hotel. The only thing he knows is that she's somewhere on the 2nd floor, and her room number has 3 digits. But he's not sure which one. To keep anyone from finding out, she hid the room number inside their secret code. Can you figure it out? She's on the 2nd floor, so the room number must start with 2. The only 2 in the code is right here, followed by 5 and 6. That means her room is number 256. Dan and his wife are training for a marathon at the end of the month. Today was practice day. Dan left home at 1 p.m. His wife left half an hour later, and she runs twice as fast as he does. Yet, she never catches up. How is that possible? They're married, but they don't live in the same house. In fact, they were running in completely different cities. So of course, she was never going to catch up. And that's it for today's Mystery Marathon. So how many riddles did you get right? Tell us in the comments and challenge your friends to see if they can beat your score.
Three friends went on a weekend getaway at a fancy hotel. During dinner, Jack ordered a seafood platter. Paul had a shrimp salad, and Sam went for a hamburger. By the end of the next day, one of them got food poisoning. Who was it? Seafood usually causes trouble just a few hours after eating it, not a whole day later. Since the person only felt bad by the end of the next day, it must have been Sam. It was a regular day at the museum, until, suddenly, the lights turned off and the alarm started blaring. Oh no! A painting's gone missing! Take a good look at these three suspects. Can you tell who took it? Wait a second, this lady's scarf looks way too big. She's hiding the painting underneath it. A witch finds an old book sealed by magic. To open it, she must say the total number of triangles on the cover. Can you count them all? There are 8 triangles. Well done. Carla found a backpack on the train. Inside, there was a screwdriver, a sandwich, and a newspaper from last week. She handed it to security, and they suspect it might belong to one of these people. A man who just got off at this station, a worker who repaired the train yesterday, or a tourist who visited the city last week. So, whose backpack is it? Look at the sandwich. There's steam coming out of it. That means it's still hot. So the backpack must belong to the man who just got off the train. A hacker was trying to crack a password, but all he found was this strange clue. He tried adding, subtracting, and even multiplying the numbers, but nothing worked. Then he realized it wasn't about math at all. Can you figure it out? It's all about the number of circles. In 1985, there are 3 of them, see? So the answer is 3. Lisa was watching a TV show with her boyfriend when she suddenly had to rush to the bathroom. "Pause it and wait for me," she said. Her boyfriend agreed. But when Lisa came back, she was sure the TV was showing a different scene. Can you spot 5 differences? Yep, there they are. Olivia and Theo are co-workers traveling to a meeting in another city, and they booked flights on different airlines. Both planes were in the air when something went wrong. On Olivia's flight, her window suddenly cracked. On Theo's flight, the oxygen mask dropped from the ceiling, but only one of them is really in danger. Who is it? Olivia's fine. Airplane windows have multiple layers, and it was only the inner one that cracked. But Theo's in real trouble. His oxygen mask didn't work, which means he has no air supply. A teacher walks into class and shouts, "Surprise test!" Two students immediately stand up, saying they can't take it because they need to go to the nurse's office. She asks why, and they both say they hurt their legs. But only one of them is telling the truth. Who is it? It's the boy. The girl's pretending. Look, she's standing on her supposedly injured leg. Henry just finished his workout. He headed to the locker room and panicked when he realized his phone was missing. The gym owner questioned 3 people who were nearby. A woman said she was taking a shower when it happened. A guy said he had just walked into the locker room. And a personal trainer said both his hands were busy lifting weights. So, who took the phone? It was the woman. If she was really in the shower after her workout, why is she still wearing gym clothes? She's not telling the truth. Jess just had a son. She held him for a moment and said, "He'll be called Lucas." A nurse came over and said she needed to take Lucas for some tests. When she came back, she handed him to Jess, but Jess froze. "That's not my son," she said. How is she so sure? Because if you remember, Lucas had a birthmark on his head. So yeah, they accidentally switched him. A food inspector walks into a restaurant and asks to see the menu. The chef gets nervous, but brings out 4 of their best dishes. The inspector takes one look and calls the authorities to shut the place down. He says there's something wrong with each plate. Can you find all the issues? Let's see, the first dish has a cockroach. The second one has mold. The third has a strand of hair. And the last one? Well, the problem isn't the food, it's the drink that comes with it. That looks really suspicious. Kate and Paul were playing badminton. They played 5 matches, and each of them won 3 times. How is that possible? Well, that's because they weren't playing against each other. They had different opponents. At a charity auction for billionaires, a necklace worth $1 billion suddenly disappeared. The detective had to find the thief without being seen, so he hid behind a curtain and could only see the backs of 3 women. One had blonde curls decorated with seashells. Another had bright rainbow hair with sparkling clips. The third had red hair braided with coral. So, which of the 3 women stole the necklace? It's the blonde one. Seashells are light, so why are her curls pulled down like that? She must have hidden the necklace inside her hair and attached it to the shells. Hey, don't be afraid. This vampire's actually pretty nice. He decided to stop drinking blood. Luckily, he found the perfect substitute, tomato juice. So he went on vacation and packed 48 little juice boxes. He drinks one every 2 hours. So how long until he runs out of tomato juice? Well, let's do the math. 48 boxes times 2 hours equals 96 hours. That's 4 full days of tomato juice. A young woman was kidnapped by a crazy math teacher. He locked her in a tank that started filling with water and said, "The only way to stop it is to answer this question. Can you write the number 89 using only the number 8? Can you help her before it's too late?" And the answer is 88 plus 8 divided by 8. That equals 89. Did you get it right? 3 hikers see a huge warning sign, high avalanche risk. But they didn't turn back. Minutes later, they hear a deep rumble. The avalanche is coming. Each of them reacts in a completely different way. Samuel crouches down and holds his backpack over his head. Jack stays on the same path but speeds up. Dylan slows down a bit and starts moving diagonally. So, who's got the best chance of survival? It's Dylan. Moving diagonally helps you get out of the avalanche's direct path. Charlotte meets her cousin at the park. It's a beautiful sunny day, not a single cloud in the sky. But something feels off. Her cousin is carrying an umbrella that's completely soaking wet, while his clothes are totally dry. Weird, right? Well, take a good look around the park. Can you guess what happened? See that little sprinkler over there? It's off now, but just a few moments ago, it was spraying water everywhere. He opened his umbrella to protect himself from getting drenched. At a wedding, all the bridesmaids were told to wear colors that are also fruit names. On the big day, they lined up next to each other, and the bride was furious. But why? Who broke the rule? Let's see. She's wearing orange, she's in a pink dress, and the third one picked olive. Those are all fruits. But the last one, she's in mint, so she's the one who messed up. At a charity event, a millionaire showed up with his new companion. His friends wanted to test how smart she was. So one of them said, "A man, a plan, a canal, Panama." Right away, she knew exactly what it was. Can you tell? Pangram, palindrome, acronym, lipogram. And the right answer is B, palindrome. That's when a word or phrase reads the same backward and forward. So how many challenges did you get right? Tell us in the comments. A mother, who recently gave birth, woke up in the hospital and saw 2 women next to her bed. They were holding newborn babies, but her own kid was missing. Both women claimed the babies in their arms were their own, but one of them was lying. She had taken the woman's kid. Which one is it? The girl on the right took the baby. She is still pregnant and could not have given birth to the child in her arms. Look at these 3 people. They're in jail. There are 2 prisoners in orange uniforms and a hooded figure in the center. But one of them isn't alive. Who is it? The one who isn't alive is the man on the right. Take a look at his leg. His pants are ripped, and part of his shin is exposed. The skin looks greenish. He just can't be alive looking like that. A robbery occurred on the beach. Someone stole an expensive watch from a tourist, and now 4 people are suspects. Just one detail can reveal who the real thief is. Who is the culprit? The thief is this guy in a hat. He's carrying a green bag, and inside it, you can see the outlines of the stolen watch. A guy was walking home late at night when he saw 3 mysterious brides standing under a flickering streetlight. Only one of them was human, and to move forward, he had to figure out which one it was. Can you help him get home safely? The man noticed that the girl on the left had a sweaty face. Now, ghosts don't sweat, so he chose her. His careful observation paid off, and he returned home safely. 3 girls are practicing in a ballet studio. However, one of them is a man in disguise. He's actually a criminal hiding from the police. Can you figure out which person isn't a woman? The person on the right isn't a woman. The thief has dressed perfectly well, but his Adam's apple is giving him away. Look at this picture and try to figure out who the woman's husband is. It's the man in the middle. The woman is wearing a pendant with the letter L, and the man has the name Lisa tattooed on his neck. Detective Lucas was at the mall when he heard people arguing. Turns out, a salesman had found a smartphone and made an announcement. Now, several people claimed it was their phone. One man said the phone had slipped from his pocket. A girl claimed the gadget belonged to her, and an older woman said it was her husband's phone. Suddenly, the phone rang. Lucas glanced at the screen and immediately gave the phone to the man. How did he understand whose device it was? Deborah saw the word wife written on the screen. Jenny came to a private party and got acquainted with a nice young man, David. They were talking when someone pushed Jenny, and then she noticed that her purse was gone. David spotted a guy hanging around the entrance. He claimed he was looking for an ATM. He needed cash to buy a ticket to the party. David immediately understood that the man was actually the thief. How? This is a private party. You just can't buy a ticket to get there. The man is lying. 3 people were stopped at the security check of an international airport. They were suspected of smuggling different stuff out of the country. The first man was heading for a beach resort. The second man had a cage with 3 colorful birds and a pet carrier with a family of hamsters. He had all the necessary papers. The third man was traveling for business. Who is the smuggler? It's the third guy. He's bald, so why would he need shampoo? Jacob needed to access his colleague's files, but the computer was password protected. On the desk, there was a note. Write backward all the numbers. It sounded like a tough task, but Jacob didn't need much time to write the correct answer and get the information. What is the password? Looky here. That's the phrase, all the numbers written backward. Kayla went on a business trip. She didn't have time to tell her boyfriend about her plans, so she left him a note. In it, the woman wrote, "I'm in the city that is 3/7 chicken, 2/3 cat, and 1/2 goat. I'll be here for a week. Come visit me." Do you know where Kayla's boyfriend should go? To Chicago. When Amy entered the office, she noticed that her colleague Emma was very upset. It was just the beginning of the working day, but someone had already stolen her purse. Jenna, who worked in IT, said she had been fixing somebody's computer. Joanna, the secretary, answered she had been on the phone with some clients. And James, the sales manager, said he'd just returned from a 3-hour-long meeting. Amy knew right away who had taken the purse. Can you figure it out? It's James. The working day has just started. What meeting is he talking about? The police were called to a hotel where one of the employees was found unconscious on the floor. The officers had 3 suspects, all of them hotel guests. Sarah said that she had heard some noise, but had stayed in her room because she had been scared. James told the police he had been outside trying to catch a taxi to go sightseeing, and Damien said he had been sleeping at home at the time of the accident. Who is lying? Damien. He's a hotel guest. Then how could he be at home sleeping? There are 2 towns near each other. People who always tell the truth live in one of them. Liars live in the other. The inhabitants of the town often visit each other. What question should you ask a passerby to find out which town you're in? Ask them, "Are you a guest here?" If they answer yes, you're in the town of liars. If they say no, you're in the town where honest people live. If 3 hens lay 3 eggs in 3 days, how many eggs will 12 hens lay in 12 days? Have you noticed there's a catch in this riddle? The answer isn't 144. If 1 hen lays 1 egg in 3 days, it means it will lay 4 eggs in 12 days. That's why 12 hens will provide you with 48 eggs in 12 days. Emma is near a store. She can't read the sign on this store, but she knows for sure that she needs to go inside and buy something. Which shop is she standing next to? Emma is near an eyewear store. Mrs. Smith accused her neighbor, Mrs. Miller, of having stolen her laundry. The woman said she had hung the laundry in her backyard at 10 a.m., and when she went out of the house 2 hours later, she saw Mrs. Miller putting it in her bag. The other woman denied these accusations. Which of these women is lying? It's freezing outside, and there's snow on the roofs. In 2 hours, damp laundry would be so frozen it'd be impossible to fold it and put it in a bag. So Mrs. Smith is a liar. A man opened his door and saw a police officer and a woman with a bandage on her head. She claimed that a plant pot had fallen out of the man's window an hour before and hit her on the head. She asked for compensation. The man let them in, but denied the accusations. He said he had come back home 2 minutes before their arrival, but the police arrested the man. Why? The officer spotted a pan with boiling water in the kitchen. If the man had indeed just come home a few minutes ago, the water wouldn't have had enough time to start boiling. So there. Leonore is a nurse, and it's her first day at this hospital. As she walks up to the entrance, she hears a coworker say "donut," and the woman at the front desk lets her in. Then another nurse says "candy," and she gets let in too. Leonore realizes it must be some kind of a code. So what should she say? The rule is simple. Say a 5-letter word. So the answer is water or booger. Oops, that's 6 words. Never mind. Anyways, you must be the new nurse, the woman says. Then she tells Leonore to go find her boss and describes him as a doctor who wears braces. Leonore walks into a room and sees 3 guys, but there's a problem. They're all wearing masks. So how can she tell which one is her boss? Well, let's see. This one looks too young to be a doctor. He's probably a patient. And this one is wearing the same kind of uniform as Leonore, which means he's a nurse. So the only one who could be the doctor is the third guy. Before the doctor can even say hi to Leonore, he suddenly takes off running towards a patient. Why? Can you tell what happened? Look at the monitor. His heart rate just dropped and now it's flat. That means this patient is in trouble. I don't understand, the doctor says. He thinks someone poisoned the patient. The man was extremely wealthy, so the motive is obvious – money. 3 family members were nearby – his niece, his daughter, and his sister. So who did it? The niece and the sister don't look well off, but that doesn't really matter because they wouldn't inherit anything. The only one who would actually benefit from his inheritance is the daughter. So, she's the culprit. Leonore has a sharp eye, so she scans the room and notices 3 suspicious items: a water bottle, a cup of tea, and an apple. We know one of these items was poisoned. So, which one is it? The apple is still whole, which means the patient never ate it. The water turns out to be sparkling water, and that explains the bubbles. So the only thing left is the tea. After solving the mystery, Leonore's boss says, "Hey, can you head over to the emergency room? We really need you there." Leonore rushes out, but there's a problem. The hospital is huge with doors everywhere. So which one leads to the emergency room? The numbers and symbols don't matter. It's simpler than that. Ambulances usually park near the emergency room, so the correct door is the one closest to them. In the ER triage area, patients get one of 3 wristbands: red for emergencies, yellow for serious cases, and green for people who can wait. 3 teens walk in. One has a seafood allergy and just ate shrimp. One was bitten by a dog, and one says she broke her leg. So, who gets which? The shrimp allergy is the most urgent, since it can affect breathing, so he gets red. The dog bite needs care but can wait a bit, so that's yellow. And the last one gets green. If her leg were really broken, she wouldn't be standing there. Now, 2 patients insist they have high fevers, but Leonore notices something. One of them is trying to fake it to get treated first. So, who's lying? This girl is shivering like she feels cold, which can happen with a real fever. But this guy only has sweat on his forehead. The rest of his skin is totally dry. He probably splashed water on his face to fake it. So he's the one lying. An eye doctor calls Leonore into his office. He wants to test her vision to see if she's really fit to work at the hospital. He shows her an image and asks, "What number do you see?" The answer is 351. Next image. How many numbers are hidden here? Can you help Leonore? There are 5 numbers. Last visual challenge. Can you spot what's wrong with this image? Look closely. There's a hidden letter O right here. Leonore gets called to check on 3 inmates. who say they're feeling bad. When she steps into the cell, she turns around to lock the door, and suddenly someone snaps handcuffs on her wrists. She didn't even see who did it. Now 3 inmates are sitting there, and one of them did it because he's planning to escape. So who is it? It's this guy. The prongs on his fork are bent, which means he's been trying to mess with the cell lock before. Leonore heads back to the hospital and checks on a patient with his mouth covered. She looks at his chart to see his name and finds this weird code. It looks like they use it to hide the identities of VIP patients. Can you figure out who it is? The red X means we remove the red letters, and the blue arrow pointing left means we need to read it backward. So, the patient is the CEO. Hey, no pressure, Leonore. Leonore has to bring an X-ray to a patient. But the second she sees her, she realizes something's wrong. What is it? The patient is clearly coughing. So the X-ray should be of her lungs, not her head. It's obviously a mix-up. 2 families are thrilled because their relatives are doing better. Now they head to the checkout desk to pay the hospital bill. Both families look rich, but only one of them can actually afford it. So which one is the real wealthy family? Well, look at the dads. This one is holding a car key, but the other one is wearing a bike helmet, which suggests they don't even have a car. So this family is probably the one struggling. The hospital chef asks Leonore to deliver a meal to a patient's room. It's for a pregnant woman who's here for a checkup. The chef sets down 3 trays. So which one should Leonore bring? Pregnant women should avoid raw fish and too much caffeine. So the safest choice is tray number 3. Suddenly, the hospital alarms go off. It's an emergency. Leonore jumps into the ambulance and they have to reach the patient's house as fast as possible. Look at these 2 routes. Route number 1 is stuck in heavy traffic. Route number 2 has a bunch of traffic lights. Which way should they go? Route number 2 might seem better, since an ambulance can go through red lights. But look closer. There's broken glass on the road. That could blow a tire. So the safest choice is route number 1 and hope the cars move out of the way. They finally make it to the patient's street, but they don't have the house number. The person who called 911 was panicking and only managed to say, "Hurry, it's the house with the dog." But Leonore doesn't see any dog. So which house is it? House number 2. Look closely. It has a little pet door at the bottom. That's the giveaway. At the end of the day, Leonore's co-workers invite her out to dinner to celebrate her first day on the job. While they're there, they give her a tip. Their boss loves hospital riddles. So when Leonore gets to the restaurant, he tells her he has 3 riddles for her, and if she gets them all right, she will get a raise. First riddle. Why did the doctor bring a pencil to the hospital? Leonore laughs. Easy, to draw blood. So the next question is, why did the thermometer break up with the hospital? Leonore thought for a moment, then answered, because it was under too much pressure. They all laughed, but the last riddle is the toughest one. The good news is, if Leonore gets this right, that raise is guaranteed. Ready to help her out? All right, here it comes. What do you call a doctor who fixes websites? You call him a urologist. URL, get it? Well, with that, Leonore can finally head home, tired but happy, because she really did earn that raise. And hey, thanks for helping her along the way.